Hi, I'm Crystal Kidd, and I'm a student at Scituate High School.
At Scituate High School, students like ourselves who take environmental science become involved in a program called Envirothon. The mission of Rhode Island Envirothon is to develop knowledgeable, skilled, and dedicated citizens who are willing and prepared to work towards achieving and maintaining a natural balance between the quality of life and the quality of the environment. In our course at Scituate High School, all our learning is connected to goals related to Envirothon. At the Envirothon event that occurs each May, teams of 5 students compete against other teams by taking a series of tests in different areas of natural resource science, including forestry, aquatics, soils, wildlife, and a special topic which changes each year. In addition, several weeks before the competition, the participants are given a specific problem scenario. Teams must apply what they have learned all year in developing a proposal addressing the scenario problem. The team then present their proposals to teams of judges made up of professionals from the field of natural resources, conservation, and management. The special topic for the Rhode Island Envirothon last year was urban and community forestry. Since Scituate is not exactly an urban environment, to help us prepare for this, our class partnered with students from Central Falls to establish an urban arboretum there. We learned that Central Falls has the least amount of canopy cover in the state, and we wanted to help change that. So the class collaborated with Miss Rasheen and her students to write a grant to DEM for their America the Beautiful program. We got the grant and used it to purchase 14 trees that we planted with teams made up of students from Scituate and Central Falls High School and Calcutt Middle School. We also created a website to share our work. We used GIS to create an interactive map of our planting sites. This year's class is carrying on our effort to reforest Central Falls and has again been awarded an America the Beautiful grant to do another tree planting event. They are also creating a video about how to plant a tree.
A few weeks before the Envirothon competition, the organizers released the problem scenario. The description is a couple pages long, so I won't read the whole thing, but here are the main tasks that the students were given. The Champlin Scout Reservation sits on 125 acres of land at 223 Scituate Avenue in Cranston, Rhode Island. The camp includes part of the Meshanticut Brook, a small farm pond, and a diversity of forest cover types in an otherwise urban and suburban setting. The Narragansett Council Boy Scouts of America operates the property as a camp, providing summer Cub Scout day camping and winter Boy Scout troop camping. As an environmentally conscious organization, the Council is interested in managing this urban forest and protecting it as an important local natural resource. The Council and the City of Cranston are hypothetically cooperating to promote forest management by using the Champlin Reservation as a demonstration project. Your team has been hypothetically invited to compete for the contract to complete a forest management plan for the reservation. To win the competition, you must demonstrate to the satisfaction of the judges that you understand the principles of urban and community forest management and can explain how you would apply those principles to Camp Champlin Reservation. What actions would you propose to prepare a plan that would improve the health of the forest, protect soils, protect and enhance water quality and air quality, enhance community value, provide wildlife habitat, improve wildlife diversity, and make more efficient use of energy? Additionally, teams were encouraged to consider factors such as the budget, use of scout volunteers, invasive species, safety, overhead utilities, watershed protection, soil limitations, potential concerns of neighbors, utility of the site and management practices in education and outreach. This was a big challenge. The following two speakers from our group will summarize proposals that their teams presented at the Envirothon last year to help address this.
My name is Matt Borden, and I'm a student at Situate High School. One of the main parts of Envirothon that you were scored on is your team's presentation of a proposed management plan. On our poster, we listed the steps to our plan. My team said that the scouts who go to Camp Champlain could complete forestry projects such as clearing out invasive species along the Mechanicat Brook and replacing them with native species to prevent erosion and increase water quality. This would not only save money but also promote scouting community engagement as well as educating the public about invasive species and the harm that they can do. Although this is what we had proposed, we learned after our presentation that under certain DEM regulations, you can't clear invasive species that are right alongside a brook because of the risk of increased erosion. Along with the basic points of our management plan, we also have some pictures of the camp on our poster. By using a program called ArcGIS, we were able to see a soils map, a topographic map, a forest stand map, a wetlands map, and pictures of the camp from the years 1970 and 1955. To my group, the two pictures of the camp from the past gave us the best indicator as to why the water quality was low. As you can see in the map from 1955, there are little to no urban developments around the camp. But in the 1970 map, there are quite a lot of buildings surrounding the area, and today, there are even more than that. By looking at the topographic map and just going to see the camp for ourselves, we noticed that these new developments sat on a hill that is right above the Mechanicat Brook. By realizing this, my team came to the conclusion that runoff chemicals and other pollutants from the developments were most likely the cause of the water's low water quality. Our plan including reaching out to the owners of the developments and talking to them about reducing the amount of chemicals used and producing runoff so the water quality would be higher. Although saving money is important, we would need to hire professionals to come cut down widowmakers in the area. Widowmakers, if you don't already know, are branches that could fall at any second and cause damage to property or seriously injure people and are very dangerous. We would use the wood from those widowmakers to build lunch tables and have campfires. The wildlife section of our plan basically included creating and protecting habitats for the native wildlife. We would need to be on the lookout for invasive species such as the Asian longhorn beetle, which infests trees and destroys habitats. Throughout the whole Envirothon process, there was a lot to learn. We started off the year by learning how to identify trees by looking at their leaves, fruit, and bark. We also used a Biltmore stick to find the DBH, or diameter at breast height, of a certain tree. We got to meet and speak with a professional tree cutter named Matthew Largess, who taught us about how he used a Biltmore stick and the importance of it in his daily job. We also worked with the soils chart to identify the specific types of soil in a particular area. In addition to this, we also got to meet with a falconry expert. Falconry is the art of using a falcon to help track down and hunt small game animals. Some of the tools that we got to look at that are involved with falconry were anklets and aba, which is a cloth wrap that goes over the bird's head and calms it down, bells, and braces.
Hi, my name is Andrew Feitis, and I'm a student here at Situate High School. Our key objectives were removal of invasive plants, removal of invasive pests, removal of dead and fallen trees, replanting of new trees, protection of important trees such as the sequoia tree and sycamore trees, and insurance of air and water quality. Urban forests are important to the health and quality of life within our city. Champlain is an example of an urban forest in our area. Unfortunately, Champlain is faced with many challenges such as invasive pests and bad weather. This camp can only stay healthy if it is maintained through human interactions. The surrounding community. Champlain is surrounded by mostly undeveloped lots and condos. It is very important to ask them for permission and participation in this management plan. Wetlands. Wetlands play an important role in ecosystems. They prevent flooding by holding water, which helps keep river levels normal and help purify surface water, which means that keeping wetlands healthy is a way of controlling water quality. Invasive species removal. A major problem in Camp Champlain is the amount of invasive species, including oriental bittersweet, garlic mustard, multifloral rose, honeysuckle, and more. In order to improve the health of Champlin's forests, these plants need to be removed. The most effective and least costly way of doing this would be to open an education and removal class open to Boy Scouts and the public. After this class, volunteers will be asked to remove invasive species from impacted areas. This will greatly benefit the health of the forest at a very low cost. Champlin currently is affected by a pest called the woolly adelgid, a pest that infects hemlock trees. This pest can be removed with insecticidal soap or horticultural oil. The Asian longhorn beetle and emerald ash borer are both pests that need to be prevented from entering the camp. The main way of preventing all invasive pests is to make sure that Scouts don't bring firewood into the camp. Another way of preventing the Asian longhorn beetle is to integrate softwood trees into the forest, because Asian longhorn beetles infect hardwoods. Removal of widowmakers and dead or fallen trees. Widowmakers are any dead branches that may be above head. In order to remove widowmakers and dead or fallen trees without causing damage to power lines or other trees, a professional tree removal team needs to be hired. The dead trees and branches can be used as firewood to heat shelters for a temporary amount of time. After the removal of the trees, new trees should be planted, preferably softwoods such as pines, in order to prevent infestation of Asian longhorn beetle and allow the forest to be more diverse. These new trees will eventually give a new, healthier home for wildlife that may be in the area. Finally, the sycamore trees, the giant sequoia tree, and the two possible champion trees need to be protected and kept healthy. This can be accomplished by having a ranger or the owner check on these trees after storms and after troops or packs leave. It is essential to ensure that the air and water quality are suitable for life to prosper and grow. This correlates to the importance of ecosystem services and how useful they prove in forest maintenance. We must assure that there is clean drinking water and that all decomposition of waste is maintained. Each and every component of the forest must be coherent for the good of the forest as a whole. We must regulate the production of food and water, control climate and disease, support nutrient cycles and crop pollination, and provide recreational benefits. We really can't stress the importance of these services enough.
Participation in Envirothon is a great option for teachers seeking to conduct project-based learning with their students. It provides lots of opportunities for students to practice 21st century skills, such as critical thinking, collaboration, and creative problem solving. The special topic problem scenario provides a real-world driving question that allows students to apply their learning to a community-based problem and enhances student engagement. The process of preparing the panel presentations is highly reflective, as groups practice and critique their proposals multiple times. The audience for the presentation is authentic, as the judging panels are composed of professionals from the natural resources community. Some Envirothon participants are even hired as summer interns as a result of their participation. We thank you for listening. For more information about Envirothon, please visit rienvirothon.org.